Hello, it's me, Mayo Hosko, and welcome to my channel.
Hello, it's me, Mayo Hosko. No sugar, no filler, just real whole egg. Welcome back to another wooden railway layout tour. This time, I have made a layout in my family room. So this is the biggest layout in terms of floor space I have ever built. And since my last layout tour, I have acquired some new products via eBay. Most notably, the mountain tunnel. I believe this is from 2001. And you might spot some other destinations and things as well. I have doubled up on some things. For example, I now have two of the oil depots. And I'm not sure if I had that red water tower before. I think I had Sudbury Station last time. But I think that other coal loader is new. Also that station which is acting as the Elsbridge station is new. And also, as you can see in the section I have for the Skarloey Railway, speaking of another new destination, there's the Glenlock switch tower, which is very used and it's missing its automatic switch. And just some bits and bobs every other where. As you can see, I've gotten a lot more clickety-clack track, which I'm very, very excited to have. So that was the basic rundown. So I'll go into a little bit more details, and let's start off at Tidmouth Sheds. So because I now have 8, count them 8, 5-way switches, I was able to make this design of Tidmouth Sheds, where the roundhouse is connected via the 5-way switch to the red turntable. I used one of the Thomas Wooden Railway V switches to connect the two special engine sheds. This blue base of a shed, of a roundhouse, came in a lot and it was missing its walls, etc. So I'm just using that as the Tidmouth yards right now. And all of this stuff, all of these different sidings converge on the red turntable. There's a ton of switches all throughout this area. So we have Knapford Station right here, and right outside Knapford Station we have the over-the-track signals and the signal house, which is another new destination. And because I have 8 5-way switches now, I was able to turn the Knapford yards into a marshalling yards, where there's 5 through lines, as you can see there. So, Duck's branch line is extremely short. It is just the green bridge that I've had multiple times. And it's a similar pattern I did last time with this weird destination used as the Arlesburg ballast chute. And the Arlesdale Railway is literally just a piece of ascending track. I didn't want to devote a whole lot of resources to the Arlesdale Railway this time. And Duck's branch line just ends at this turntable with a bunch of both tunnels and bridge covers as the sidings for the turntable. And that station down there is, I believe, supposed to be Tidmouth Station, but I didn't have room for an actual Tidmouth Station, so I'm using it as the Arlesburg Station. So Duck's branch line, the Arlesdale Railway, is very, very short. So, if we come to this crossover track, we make the basic loop of Thomas's branch line. That rail crossing is new, and so Thomas's branch line weaves around a bunch of curves, comes past this red roof platform, crosses over the loop line at this diamond crossing, swings around at the windmill and the conductor shed, and then comes to this little building which I'm using as Farquhar Station. And much like last time, the quarry uses the Boulder Mountain destination and the 5-way switch. And much like last time, for scale issues, I had to combine Toby's branch line with the Peel Godred branch line. So the Peel Godred branch line comes from these bunch of switches right here, past Mr. Jolly's chocolate factory, over this blue bridge, past the paint factory, behind the Boulder Mountain, over this 4-way crossover switch and a T-switch, over this weird bridge that has a track underneath that isn't being utilised, and finishes at the power station. And this time I put the fire station near it, and there is a turntable to end that branch line. So, coming from this section of track here, Toby's branch line travels through my 2 quarry mine tunnels. And normally Toby's shed would be in the real scale of the drawings of the Island of Sodor maps, would be at Arlesdale End, which would in scale would probably be about over here, but I just put it near the quarry instead for space constraints. So Toby's branch line comes over this Sodor Bay Bridge, which I now have 2 of. Another one is being used as the Vickerstown Bridge for the bridge off of Sodor. These were new, and these are much heavier than these 2 red bridges. Much more weightier. So it comes down the hill past one of my 2 barrel loaders. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the other barrel loader, so I didn't include it in the layout. Past the honey depot, underneath the green bridge, and back to the red turntable. Now, I want to focus on the loop line. So the loop line passes underneath this blue bridge, runs over these 3 arch stone bridges, goes through Wellsworth Station, which I'm actually using the destination that's the Shining Time Station. You take a left at another one of these 4-way crossover switches and past all of the various coal destinations that I use for the Crosby Coal Yard, etc. It runs over this section of road, and you might see that I've gotten a lot more pieces of roadway track, which is really, really exciting. Got them in a bunch of bulk lots. And what I like about this is that this is very reminiscent of the TV series style of Elsbridge Station. One way to interpret the TV series style of Elsbridge Station is that the junction between Thomas's branch line is not with the main line, but it's actually with the loop line instead. I think that is the way I personally like to interpret the junction station in the TV series. It's a little bit different in the railway series, and I could explain that some other time, but I won't now. So I'm choosing to interpret Elsbridge Station as a junction station in this layout, similar to the TV series, so to speak, between Thomas's branch line and the loop line. So the loop line crosses over the diamond crossing, goes up and around a hill over these red bridges that is similar in shape to the Sodor Bay Bridge, and also comes underneath the green bridge and then comes back to the red turntable. So the other 2 lines of the main line both come underneath the deluxe signal house, under the blue bridge, over those 2 arch stone bridges. And what I like about this area right here, to get this straight, I was able to use some of those shorter switches, and also over here, just outside, well, just before Wellsworth Station. And instead of having the junction to Edwards branch line just come straight off here, instead I had it go junction off the other direction and through the mountain tunnel destination, which is being used as Gordon's Hill. So it passes over this crossing, this level crossing, which has roadway which connects to the Sodor service station. It comes underneath the lower level of the mountain tunnel, through Sudbury Station, around a bunch of curves, past this lighthouse, to a 5-way switch, and then into the Brendan Harbour with Cranky and the dock for Bulstrode to berth in. So you come down Gordon's Hill, you approach a Y switch, and it comes to this V switch into Malin station. I don't have a Kirk Ronan station, so this would be a lot further west from the junction for the Peel Godred branch line, but much like the last layout, I had to compress it right up against each other for scale purposes. And there's a little junction off to the ironworks at Kildane. And both of these lines of the main line run parallel with each other until it goes to that V switch to go form a single track for the bridge off of Sodor at Vickerstown. It passes over another one of these crossovers, and you can see that there's two different lines to get to the not Kirk Ronan, because there is no Kirk Ronan branch line on this layout. There is two different lines off the main line for both directions of travel to get to the Peel Godred. One passes by the chocolate factory, the other one passes by this level crossing. And so if we come up further, I have a siding for the chocolate factory that is at another one of these V switches. And the main line winds around, but there is a switch to this roundhouse, which I am using as the works, because it also has the engine wash, the oil depot, and another water tower. This is the red version, and over there is the yellow version. So this is obviously Crovan's Gate Station, and I did not build an accurate style of Crovan's Gate sheds for the Skarloey Railway, because I was using those sheds elsewhere. So let's venture off the Skarloey Railway. There was a siding at the station. It winds around and does a bunch of winds, a bunch of different curves. You can see some of the clickety-clack track past the Glennock switch tower, over the sling lift bridge, comes up onto the curved viaduct, comes down the hill, then it comes to these two single stone tunnels, which I am using as the Rheneas tunnel, comes to this T-switch, and normally there would be stations for Lakeside and Skarloey and Rheneas right here, but I didn't want to build those stations this time. I only wanted to build the track because I was pressed for time. But this is where a bunch of my clickety-clack track is. And we have another one of these Y switches. You come around 3 different curves to another V switch to come to the incline for the slate quarry. So that's pretty much all of the Skarloey Railway. And I just included this little section of line that I'm assuming would connect to the Bluebell Valley branch line, which in the TV series is where Stepney runs on. I assumed that would go somewhere over there towards Bluebell Valley and Great Waterton, but that is not included because I didn't want to build underneath my dining table, quite frankly. So we come back to the main line, we go past Crovan's Gate Station. There was this little junction for the various timber, wood, log and lumber destinations, which I'm using in Henry's Forest. I believe this destination is new, but I found one half of the sawmill and dumping depot, the sawmill section and the rolling ramp. It didn't include the actual dumping depot itself. So I got this for $20, which I think was a really, really good price. So at least I can say I have part of the sawmill and dumping depot. And I think the sawmill is good enough for me because I can try and engineer an actual dumping depot one day somewhere down the pipeline. So, and I've already explained how the main line finishes. So that's pretty much the whole layout. Excuse some of the mess. I've got track right here, and I've got other containers with other track and other wooden pieces. My dining table is an absolute mess. I had to move my couch and the dining table, and I had to move the rugs. I was able to do some vacuuming underneath, so that's a positive. But this is pretty much the whole layout. There is no trains or anything else on. It's just the track and the destinations. I apologize if you can see any mess, but I just wanted to get this done while I had a limited amount of days to make this kind of video. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to build this layout. I'm glad I was able to experiment with some new destinations like the mountain tunnel. I like how I was able to build around the mountain tunnel, and I like having the marshalling yard for the Knapford yards. This was a very experimental layout because I got some new pieces, and I think in future layouts, the kind of blob right here will always be used for roadway from now on. And I forgot to mention, I got those 2 stacking risers which have roadway on top. You can see a bunch of curves, tons of straights, and what's really special to me is the roadway pieces of ascending track. So that's the layout. Tell me how you feel it compares to the previous wooden railway layouts I've done. I've done 3 videos now. This is my 4th wooden railway layout. You can search in the Mayo Hosko trains and Mayo Hosko TWR layout playlists to see the others. Tell me what you think about this layout. Tell me what you think I could improve for next time. Is there any different track configurations you would like me to experiment with? I don't do a lot of this often, so don't expect this to be a frequent video series on the Mayo Hosko channel. It's only when I have time and I am alone in my house alone. So please tell me your thoughts, and I will see you in the next wooden railway layout tour, whenever that may be. Be sure to like, comment and share this video with your friends. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. To be notified of every Mayo Hosko upload, be sure to click that bell icon so that you don't miss out. And if you want to further support this channel, if you want to see exclusive behind the scenes content, if you want to get early access to every Mayo Hosko video before they get uploaded to YouTube, if you want to get the right to vote on some Mayo Hosko polls, to get some administrative control of what goes on around here, and you want to see the production value of the Mayo Hosko channel grow, as well as hopefully giveaways in the future, as well as a bunch of other different perks that make you in the top hierarchy of the Mayo Hosko community, feel free to support me on Patreon. Besides the comment section down below, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Links to my social media and my Patreon are in the description of every Mayo Hosko video, as is a link to the Mayo Hosko fan club. And for another means of communication, you can find me at mayohosko@gmail.com. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.